and welcome to World Insight with me, Tian Wei. At the 20th CPC National Congress, the Communist Party of China has vowed to comprehensively advance national rejuvenation through a Chinese path to modernization, a central task the party laid out for the next 5 years and beyond. On Sunday, while delivering a report at the opening session of the Congress, Xi Jinping stressed the need to comprehensively advance rural revitalization, develop agriculture and rural areas, consolidate poverty eradication outcomes, and accelerate the construction of a strong agricultural country. The technology of Chinese Juncao is a great example of agricultural innovation. Lin Zhanxi, a delegate to the 20th CPC National Congress, said recently, China's Juncao technology, which contributed to poverty reduction in China, has helped 106 countries and regions around the world.
So it's important for us to simplify and localize the technology so that more people can have easy access to this technology. We have also conducted training, and out of these training courses, there are more than 12,000 people that have graduated from this course. We also have trained 24 overseas students in this specialty. The technology has been translated into 18 languages.
Juncao in Chinese literally means the mushroom and grass. The Juncao technology refers to techniques that use plants to grow edible fungi. It can also help to produce crops, livestock feed, fertilizer, biomass energy, and biological materials, and protect the environment. And this is just one example of China's agricultural innovation. So how will the path and development philosophy help China to solidify its agriculture foundation? On that and agricultural innovation, I asked a professor from China's University of Agriculture. On agriculture, I'm joined in Beijing by Zhang Chuanhong, who is Associate Professor from the China Agricultural University. Good to see you again, Professor Zhang. Tell me more about how do you see, with the latest report, China is going to feed well the 1/5 of the world's population?
That's why, we need to have a kind of feasible approach to achieve this kind of self-sufficiency. If we take China's real situation into mind, like China used only 9% of our arable land to feed 1/5 of the world's population. How can we do it? I think that's why, President Xi repeatedly emphasized the importance of innovation. In the past 7 years, China has achieved a stable green output increase. We can see almost each and every year in the past 7 years, the minimum green output is 1.3 trillion yuan. And also, we say by the end of this year, China is going to build 900 million mu of high standards farmland. That means, through innovation, China definitely can achieve food security. I just name a few of these policies and the approaches.
Professor Zhang, you talk about innovation many times, but exactly what kind of innovations or what kinds of innovation that are most crucial for China today in order to achieve a self-sufficiency?
Many aspects like better seeds that are resistant to different climate conditions, soil conditions, and seeds that with high yields, and of course also, the technology that can help the farmers to reduce drudgery of farming work. If we think about the innovation-driven technology used by Chinese people, we can see we have achieved high mechanization rate, like 72% overall mechanization rate. And also the seed germplasm self-sufficiency ratio is also over 95%.
Professor Zhang, China has been talking about the internal circulation to work together with the so-called global circulation. How is China going to balance, on the one hand, self-sufficiency, food security, on the other hand, to work with the rest of the world in a globalized, still relatively globalized world?
We usually emphasize, China's high food self-sufficiency ratio is almost limited to the staple crops like wheat, rice, and maize. For some other non-staple crops like soybeans, we are actually strongly relying on the imports from international markets. China is the largest grain exporter or producer of the world, but China is also the largest grain importer, but all the imports of agricultural products are actually used for animal feeds. So in that respect, of course, we need to emphasize the domestic self-sufficiency. That means to deliver a strong signal that, the Western countries cannot coerce China through this food security issue. That means, Chinese people's rice bowl was held in Chinese people's hand, right? We have this kind of bottom line. But on the other hand, we actually want to contribute to the world food security, and we also rely on international market to meet the diverse demand of Chinese people.
China has, over the decades, accumulated quite some experiences in developing modern agriculture. How relevant do you see these technologies, practices, methods, and also ways of doing things can be shared by the rest of the world, particularly the developing world?
China shared quite a lot of similarities with other developing countries. In agriculture aspects, we can see smallholder farmers are still the main characteristics of China's agriculture industry. Many technologies are used by smallholder farmers to improve the value addition. And that kind of experiences can shared by many other developing countries, of course. As what we are doing in some African countries, we actually transfer very simple Chinese technology to our African friends, farmers. Our university, actually our team, teach them, how to prepare the land well, how to measure the distance between rows and crops, how to do weeding properly, and how to use improved seeds. All these very simple technologies with intensive labor, just labor input without a huge capital input. The yield of maize production has been increased to 2 to 3 times. And the second thing I want to emphasize is the government's effort in infrastructure, not only the road, but also the irrigation system, to connect the, we call it the road for industry development, which is suitable for machines and to reduce the people's labor work is also very important for other developing countries.
Rural revitalization has been one point emphasized by the report. Now, China has been talking about that for some years. Where are we now in terms of achieving that goal? What do you see as the urgent task in order to achieve that in the next 5 years?
The strategy has been in place since 2018. From this report, we see it more clearly. It refers to the talent. That means we need to attract more people to rural areas, and also refer to the increase in living environment, and also mentioned the organization building of rural communities. That means we use farmer cooperatives, farmer organizations to do that. Our team also actually working on rural revitalization in many villages in Yunnan, almost 20 villages now, right now. If you go to the rural villages in Yunnan nowadays, you will be amazed at, you can enjoy coffee shop there. They produce the high quality, very good coffee. And they also have very beautiful guest houses. I think it can at least 3-star standards all over China. We have over 960,000 farmer cooperatives or other types of economic organizations. That means the rural communities will be more unified. The difference between rural and urban areas will be further narrowed, and the many people would like to go and work in rural areas and enjoy their life there.
Zhang Chuanhong, thank you so much for joining us.